Let's settle down for our stories for today. Now, suspended CPP youth organizer Ernesto Yeboah says he is ready to appear before the party's disciplinary committee over his suspension for misconduct. He insists his hard work is attracting the youth of the party to victory.
CPP General Secretary Ni Ama Akomfra and youth organizer Ernesto Yeboah were suspended by the party's Central Committee for misconduct. The Central Committee also referred the two suspended national officers to the Disciplinary Committee to investigate their conduct. But the suspended youth organizer Ernesto Yeboah says he has been working to secure 2 million votes for the party's flag bearer.
In almost every action that we have wanted to take, and in every situation we have obeyed. So for anybody to turn around to say that, hey, we have engaged in a certain misconduct, that person needs to point out that misconduct to us. Because as far as we are concerned, all we have been trying to do is to project the real ideals of the party, and that, hey, we have engaged in a certain misconduct, that person needs to point out that misconduct to us. Because as far as we are concerned, all we have been trying to do is to project the real ideals of the party and to showcase to the world that these are a different group of politicians who mean well for our country.
Ernesto Yeboah says he is yet to receive formal communication on a suspension, insisting he has not acted contrary to the party's laws.
If I'm to base my comments on what they saying in the media, then I'll be very surprised that for a party with little integrity to fight or suspend people who are fighting against corruption. I find it very difficult to understand why the party would do that.
The suspended General Secretary, Ni Ama Akomfra, is reportedly out of the country.
So you're going to delve into this very issue happening in the CPP, and we'll be joined in the studio by Commander Jason Tutu. He's the head of communications for the youth wing of the CPP. Welcome, Commander.
Thank you, Eddie.
Now, what is happening within the CPP? Many are describing it as a crisis of a sort. Do you agree?
I'll agree to an extent, Eddie. I'll tell you what. On the IEA platform, just a couple of days ago, the flag bearer of the CPP was given a loaded gun, and he shot the party in the head. I say this simply because if you're in a political party where your core ideology opposes corruption, and you have young people in your party standing up strongly against corruption, and then you are seen towing another line, I think the best thing you could have done is to extend an olive branch to the young people in your party. But if you go on a policy platform such as the IEA and refuse categorically to distance yourself from allegations of corruption, or still stand firm as a stumbling block in processes that seek to investigate corruption, then what do you think you're doing to the party? This is a flag bearer who actually hinted the fact that the youth leader might be suspended. And in a couple of days, we got the youth leader suspended. Is he trying to paint a picture as though the party is at his behest and that what he wishes is law in the party? I think it doesn't paint a very good picture for the Convention People's Party. But as young people, for the first time in the history of this party, we are very organized and we are not disillusioned. Like one of my colleagues said, the secretary of the Youth League, Ernesto Yeboah is not the Youth League, and the Youth League is not Ernesto Yeboah. So when they think taking him out is something that would disillusion us and make us lose focus, I think that is the biggest joke.
Do you see this development hurting the fortunes of the CPP in the run-up to the elections?
I believe that hiccups happen in political parties, but when cool heads prevail, we have others, 2 deputies, who are actually working hard on the ground. We sent a proposal to the Central Committee that what we want to do for the party is to deliver them 2 million solid votes. That was not inspiring enough. What they thought was good for the party was to fire the youth league leader who promises to deliver 2 million votes. How can that be?
Jason, do you have a feeling that there's an attempt to gag people from speaking within the CPP?
Well, I think Ernesto said something which is quite instructive when he was being interviewed on other media today. And he says, when you speak the truth, when you stand for the truth, and when you fight corruption, you become an enemy to the state. So I think that is what is replaying itself in this development. Because otherwise, why would you fire or suspend, actually that's what was done, a youth league leader simply because he sent an issue of corruption to Traj to investigate? We pay our taxes, and our taxes go to what? Pay people who work at Traj. So if there is an issue that Ghanaians are not clear about, the natural thing is to actually evoke this, constitutional establishments to bring clarity to the matter. How terrible can that be? To the extent that a political party of the Nkrumahist agenda or Nkrumahist thinking will suspend someone for seeking truth, for seeking clarity on allegations of corruption, beats the imagination of any right-thinking person. I just don't get it, and I think most Ghanaians don't get it as well.
You are from the youth wing.
Yes.
Do you see it strange that your flag bearer shied away from commenting on the Fort saga?
Well, the truth is he didn't shy away from it. He said he didn't see anything wrong with it. That's what he said.
Does it in any way hurt your agenda of fighting corruption as a party?
Well, to say that it hurts our agenda of fighting corruption is an understatement. It's actually anti what we believe in. Because if you can recall, a couple of, it's more than, I think about some 6 months ago, this same flag bearer of ours was at the convention, the Congress actually, of the National Democratic Congress. And these were his words, that instead of the NDC fighting corruption, they were out there distributing gifts among themselves. You know, clock to the current times, not gifts being distributed among NDC people, an external person giving gifts to the president, and then in the whole melee is awarded a contract. This same flag bearer doesn't see anything wrong with that. Now that contradiction is quite stark and it's absurd, to say the least. So it's like an insult. It's like spitting in the face of the people in the Convention People's Party, saying that your anti-corruption stance as a political party doesn't mean anything to me. I can stand by it today when I go to the NDC Congress, and when the president gets a gift the next morning, I can say, well, it doesn't matter. So now he's making a joke of the party. What do we stand for now? That's the question most Ghanaians will be asking. So to say it hurts our anti-corruption fight is an understatement. It's actually an insult to the ideology, beliefs and convictions of the Convention People's Party.
Now, there are allegations going around that, or making rounds, that the NDC is actually financing your flag bearer. That this whole development, does it in any way cement these allegations?
The NDC, most people have pointed fingers at. But the question that we must ask is, why would people ask such questions? Because they know that the CPP is an anti-corruption party. But the flag bearer is not acting in a manner that shows same. So they will associate him with entities that they believe condone corruption. So if people are saying that the NDC is actually funding him or is involved in this, that means they are indirectly saying the NDC is the party that condones and supports corrupt leaders and corrupt practices. So that's the only sensible deduction I can make out of this. Otherwise, why would people be saying that? We're fighting corruption. You understand? Someone is against us fighting corruption. So if they say the NDC is involved, they mean that group, which is the NDC, is an entity that actually encourages and supports people who embrace corruption wholeheartedly.
Two key positions in the party. Now, do you see this happening as strange? Something new in the party?
Well, they've been...
And do you actually think that it's because you have a new crop of leaders within the party? That is why we're having this development?
No, I don't think it's because we have a new crop of leaders. Various form of, unlawful behavior which will warrant some form of suspension, dismissal, but when it comes to those issues, people actually look at the crux of the matter. Why is this person being suspended? Why is this person being dismissed? And when you look at what is the case in this instance, it's very laughable. It's ridiculous that you fire someone or you suspend someone actually simply because the person is seeking the truth, simply because the person seeks to fight corruption, simply because the person is tired that Ghana has been battered for too long and that we need some clarity on these issues of underhandedness and dark practices that are making it impossible for the ordinary child to have access to a good education, for mothers to be carried in wheelbarrows to the hospital to deliver, for our roads to be full of gutters, not potholes, so that we have many accidents with thousands of Ghanaians losing their lives annually. And if a young person, if young people in the Convention People's Party are tired of all this, someone must answer to this.
Yes.
And you have a flag bearer who wants to become president saying that he doesn't see anything wrong with this, then again, like, you know, the joke that is going around in the media, I can't think far.
Well, I have last two questions for you. Yeah. You just wrap it up for me. Now, is there any provision in the party's constitution that supports this action taken by the National Executive Committee of the party? And also, finally, your next line of action, your youth leader has been suspended. Do you intend to take any action?
Well, I think that if you look at the party's constitution, you realize that a lot of infractions were engaged in, but when he was suspended, when you listen to the mouthpiece of the CC, the Central Committee, when he was on radio, justice must be done. And our actions will be guided by justice. And being the media with your keen eyes, you will see what we'll do unfold in the coming days.
We're grateful.
Thank you.
Grateful for your time. Commander Jason Tutu, he is the head of communication